Hastings?
Like, you've used the word resilience a few times with your group. This seems like a pretty good instance for it again, but what did you see in that they had the goal taken off the board? They could have folded a few times there and didn't seem to do it and got rewarded for it.
Yeah, I had a couple of things. One, Kyle kept it at 2. You know, it gets to 3, that mountain seems a bit steeper. And, you know, this group has shown they're gonna play to the bell. And they did tonight. I just thought, once we did something to get the crowd energized, we drew energy from them. So they definitely got an assist in tonight's win, because I thought the place started hopping, it was buzzing when we went in between the second and third. I liked our start to the third, obviously, and I thought they played a factor tonight, but I really liked how we stuck with it because, you know, a couple of bad breaks. One goes off, linesman skate, stays in, they end up scoring a goal. You can start feeling sorry for yourself a little bit. And then we lose a back check and they're hard at the net. And so we didn't give Kyle a lot of help there on the first 2, but I thought he did a great job of shutting the door. And then we had, you know, a couple of guys that we've planned on leading on for a while, score a couple of goals, David Cillier and Christian Fitzgerald. And then I thought we managed the back part of that 2-3 minutes there where they put the goaltender well.
Mike, can you speak to your team's composure? Obviously, there were a couple ejections, a lot of hard play out there. Can you just talk about that aspect of your team's play? And I don't know, did Tyson come back out? How's he doing?
Yeah, you know, Ty's good. The one we won't know, I just saw one in the locker room. He was in his gym shorts and t-shirt. So I haven't got a full report on what's going on with him, if he'll be available tomorrow. And you know what, over the last few games, I think the guys have done a really good job of managing their emotions and not going to the box. So we're gonna need that. Like I said, you play at home, you wanna let the fans that come out and watch you play lead in the right way, and we did that tonight. I'm really happy for the guys because they stuck with it, and there were a lot of opportunities to maybe pitch that tent and say tonight's not our night, but the guys didn't do that.
Yeah, Coach, it was obviously a pretty good night to have Cruz back in the lineup. How do you feel, you know, the line shifted a little bit back around his return? How do you feel they looked in that kind of new arrangement, and how do you think he did tonight? Pretty good game.
Well, for him being out the amount of time that he was, you don't want to put too much on him, but you know, he's an integral part to our group. And you know, just you look at the second and the third goal. You know, we scored the first one, and he's got the poise to hold the puck in the middle of the rink, and he allows David to get into the zone and get some speed up on that weak side, and allow David, and then makes a great pass because it's in a spot that David didn't have to handle it much. It was there and it was distributed and on net and then a rebound. And that's the first one. Then I thought the second one, which was the third goal, he went in and won a battle. And that was a shoulder-to-shoulder battle and pulled it off the wall and found Tassie on the backside. So happy that he's back. Glad that he was able to have some production tonight, and we're going to need him to continue to do that.
Mike, you mentioned that between the second and the third period, how you were proud of the guys and the way they stuck together, but I mean, it's 2 weekends in a row that you come out in the early third period and score a goal. What does that say about this team? What's so important about those first 2 to 3 minutes of the third period that you guys have been able to capitalize on?
Well, you know what, I probably need to watch a little bit of it, but from my standpoint, our locker room's pretty calm in there. You know, the guys take their time and use it in a way. We communicate about a few things, but at the end of the day, you've got to lean on the guys that are the leaders in that locker room, and we did that tonight, and they came through. We've been in enough of these now that the guys just have a really good way about themselves, that just going back out, no matter what it is, going back out and saying, hey, let's get back after this. And I thought they did a really good job in the third, and again, we're rewarded for it.
Sylvia's had a different season this year, points wise, than he did last year, where it seemed like he just every night was throwing one in. It was going into the net last year for him. How's he handled that? And do you think a night like this could be something that could, spark him for the rest of the season?
Well, there's no doubt, just because of the way that he does things. He's always been an example setter. He's not somebody that has a pair of pom-poms in his stall and gets them out and tries to get the guys going that way. He's the first one at the rink and the last one to leave every day. So his dailies, his habits, that's how he leads. And I'm sure he's been wearing it for a while, just because he wants and prepares the way that you're supposed to be successful. And for him to get those two tonight and those to be difference makers for us, I'm sure that's a long time coming. He's been there. You know what I mean? He's hit a lot. I hate to put it this way, but he's hit a lot of iron this year. And for him to stay with it and be rewarded tonight, hopefully that gets him feeling a little bit better. I know his teammates are extremely happy for him, his coaching staff is, because he brings it every day.
If you go through long periods on power plays, 5-minute power plays where you don't score goals, is that something that worries you? Is there something that feels like you have to make an adjustment if you can't score earlier in those situations or at all in those situations?
Every single game, every weekend, you come in with an idea of what you're hoping happens, and some of it goes well and some of it doesn't. I didn't think we took advantage of those opportunities again, and so we're going to continue to plug away at it. I was hoping that one, just to give them a little bit of love, a little bit of feel good, because it was a really big time play. I thought for two guys, one at the time, 51, and two for our heart and soul, Matty D. St. Val, who is just an energy guy that goes out and wears that W on his sleeve and takes it very seriously, that he has to go and impact the game, and it goes in the back of the net and we're offside by a few feet. So to me, it's going to have to continue to be part of our progress, but we'll cut it up tonight and try and make sure we've got a better effort there tomorrow.
Coach, obviously David's goal was the equalizer, but after the first goal gets called back, how important did you sense Christian's goal was for the momentum and kind of gaining that confidence going into the third period, and how do you think that kind of shifted the game?
I thought it completely flipped the script. All of a sudden our bench had energy, the building had energy. And another thing is you look at it, I will tell you, it's amazing sometimes who scores, not just that you score. Fitzy's, he's been gripping it a little bit, but boy, look at the couple of goals that he scored in the last few games here. The overtime winner at Michigan, the goal tonight. I know he has family in town, so for them to be able to experience that tonight, and like I said, hopefully he'll be a guy that just continues to make progress, because those two guys were, again, difference makers for us tonight.
And Coach, obviously, like they kind of talked about a little bit already, you got Cruz back in the lineup tonight, but instead of just kind of slotting him back in, top line left wing, decided to mix it up a little bit with the lines. Just curious, what went into the decision to move the top six around a little bit?
At the end of the day, just some lack of productivity. Last weekend in our own building, we didn't score a lot of goals. And sometimes things can get stale, and that's not always the player's fault. It's just sometimes some combinations lose a little bit of their luster. The one thing that's been pretty consistent is David and Cruz have got some chemistry. And, it's interesting. If you pull them apart in a period, it's amazing how they start looking at you a lot more often. Like, hey, can I get back with my buddy? And so I just thought Tassie, without saying, I thought Simon Tassie was a bit of a horse for us tonight. I thought he did a great job at just being hard and heavy and doing things the right way. And that line's been good since we put it together throughout this entire week.
Anything else?
Yeah.
Last one here.
Coach, you a couple times in front of the net, Carson Banter was getting into it a little bit, and
maybe trying to take off the Notre Dame players. How big of a factor has he been this year, especially on the power play in front of the net? What does he bring to the team just from like an energy standpoint?
I've really enjoyed having the opportunity to coach Carson Bam, because he started to become an everydayer here over the last few months. He's self-critical of his game. He's his worst critic. And I just think he's put an awful lot of work. If you watch him go about his dailies, what he does in the weight room, for preparation, recovery, those types of things, you want to see guys rewarded for that. And he has, and sometimes it doesn't come in points because he's standing in a hard area. He's getting beat on consistently to be in that area, which at times some other guys benefit by him taking goaltenders' eyes away. But I think he's been a big player for us from day one, both on the ice and in the locker room.